students have called for a mass stay-away at Rhodes University. This after yesterday's chaos that erupted between students and police. Clashes broke out after a group tried to disrupt lessons at the institution. Let's get some more on the situation at the moment. We're joined on the line by Naledi Mashishi. She's from the Rhodes University SRC. Naledi, a very good morning to you. Thanks for your time this morning. Just give us more detail about your call for a mass stay-away. Is it a one-day stay-away or is it a mass stay-away from today indefinitely?
Well, I can't really confirm whether it's just for today or it's a mass stay away, but definitely we're having conversations about staying away at least for the rest of this week, and then we'll continue to see how things go. But the stay away is really a way of expressing our anger as to how students were treated yesterday by the police, and the fact that our management just sat and allowed it to happen.
All right, so your stay away today is specifically about the treatment by police yesterday, or does it include everything, including fees and your unhappiness over what's happening with that at the moment?
It includes fees because yesterday we did call for a stay away as well. But today's stay away is also motivated by the fact that yesterday students were subjected to police brutality.
All right, so what are you asking for? When you're focusing on your stay away, on the treatment by police, what exactly will you be asking for? What is your ultimatum with the stay away today?
Well, today we're asking for two things. Number one, we're asking for management to not allow the police on campus, as management does have the capacity to ask the police to leave, even if they are called on campus, and even if they do come on campus as the institute allows. And we're also asking them to make a concession. Students did appeal for management to grant amnesty to all students who have protested as part of negotiations. And so we're asking the university to not press legal charges against students.
Just going back to yesterday and the chaos on campus, Naledi, just give us some idea. We're getting different figures as to how many students have been arrested. What do you know from your side? Can you give us a number?
From my side, I know of 14.
14 students?
Yes.
And they're all still in police custody?
Yeah, all of them. Unfortunately, they were denied bail yesterday. So we were trying to fundraise to get them to appear before the High Court today, which we were told would cost 30,000 rand. But luckily, they were represented pro bono. However, we did manage to raise about 25,000 rand.
All right, so you will be trying to get them out of police custody using the funds that you've raised. What is the situation on campus this morning as we speak? You are on campus as we are speaking. Just describe to me what you're seeing, what's happening there.
Yes, well, at the moment it's quiet because lectures and official academic activity has not started. However, there are a group of protesters who have gathered just to make a plan of action for today. So at the moment things are quiet. However, much later I do anticipate there will be protest action.
All right, and you are calling for this mass stay away, but what about students who might not want to stay away, Naledi? What happens to them? Do they come to campus? Will they be safe if they come? What will be the situation?
A part of the reason why we are appealing for the mass stay away is because we are anticipating that police presence will happen on campus again. We are anticipating the same kind of police presence, and that is rubber bullets, pepper spray, stun grenades, and arrests. All that will happen on campus again. And so part of our appeal and stay away is not just as a form of protest, but also as a form of trying to protect our students from the potential violence that could ensue later on today. However, if students do come onto campus, there's nothing we can do to stop them. We're just appealing for them not to come.
All right, and in trying to protect students, Naledi, would you also be advising those who do protest, or who, if there are any further protests on campus, also not to resort to violence like stone throwing and damaging property, which of course elicits that response from security and police?
From what I've gathered so far, the protesters themselves have actually been quite peaceful. Yesterday, the stone throwing thing, I don't quite know. The story made it sound as though the protesters were pelting the police with stones, whereas I was there at the time, and that's not what happened at all. And so the protesters themselves have actually been quite peaceful throughout the protests. It's just the response they've been met with has been quite excessive. And of course, in the media, they've been painted as being very violent.
Okay, so while you're calling for the stay away, what happens behind the scenes? What is happening with the talks with yourself and university management? What's going on in that process, if there's any process at all underway at the moment?
Well, there was a negotiation process. However, the negotiation process was at a stalemate because the university refused to concede on a demand that they would grant amnesty to those who had participated in protest action. And so students felt that we can't continue with negotiations if we know that the second negotiations end, we're going to get expelled. And so they're at a stalemate for that reason. Our last communication that the SRC had with management was to tell them to remove the police from campus, and management told them that they will do no such thing. So right now, I don't know where negotiations with management are. We're going to have to see as the day goes out.
And how far are you prepared to take this, Naledi, given that it is coming up to the end of the academic year? There are exams to be written. We understand that it might affect graduation processes as well. How far will you take this?
That's a question that we've been discussing ourselves, because one thing that's very clear is that every student does want to write their exam. Every student who does want to graduate, especially those who are at exit level. However, at the moment, because of the way things are, we can't go back to class under these conditions. And so we are having talks as to how far we're willing to go, as to how long we can sustain this. Because unfortunately, we can't, the conditions right now are not conducive to learning, even if we were to sit in class right now, because of everything that's happened. But at the same time, we really do want to go back to class.
Naledi, as you may or may not be aware, Rhodes University is undertaking a referendum as we speak. It started about 7 minutes ago. It's an SMS and a web poll asking staff and students whether they want classes to resume next week. Would you be open to something like that at your institution to get a feel of whether students want to continue with class or they want to continue with this protest?
Well, that's not something I can confirm at the moment, because that is something I'd have to consult with my council. However, I can't confirm or deny whether or not we would be interested in exploring options such as a referendum.
All right. So we'll leave it there for now. Get an update from the university a little later on. That's Naledi Mashishi from Rhodes University SRC. They are calling for a mass stay away today. It's about the treatment by police, how police have been handling the protests on campus, and of course, including the feast protest as well.